These new Bitcoin miners are so powerful and so profitable, they have to be talked about. I'm Vosk here on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is a quick tour of the VoskCoin Bitcoin mining farm. I have no relationship with Bitdeer. They didn't pay me to make this, and I just want to talk about the Bitdeer A3 Bitcoin miners in particular, this new efficiency. We've recently talked about their stock. We've recently talked about their A2 Pros, and we've semi-recently reviewed their A2 miner, but these are a big deal in the Bitcoin mining game, and they warrant a full breakdown over probably about the next 10 minutes or less. Let's dig right into it. A3 Pro, A3 Hydro, and the A3 Air. So Bitdeer is basically a spin-off, more or less, of Bitmain, depending how you want to look at it. The CEO is Jian Wu, who has a famous quote, which whoosh, here it is on the screen. Yep, sorry, Mom. These are very efficient miners, and they are giving Bitmain a run for their money, and they are making Cannon and MicroBT WhatsMiner really have to step up their Bitcoin miner efficiencies. So the most notable one here is the A3 Pro Air, 12.5 joules, which can be used interchangeably with watts of terahash of Bitcoin mining efficiency, right? 290 terahash. For an average person like me and you, the hydros are not going to be interesting unless you work with a mining farm hosting facility. For example, like Terra Hosting, they've been building out their hydro facility, and we also have miners at Terra. Ignore that one's broken. But that's not it, their facility. So I have about 10 miners there, and this is my S21, so you can see its reliability, you can see its uptime here, and it's supposed to be doing 200 terahash a second, and it's getting that done. So check them out with the link out in the video description below. They support the channel, and we can support you by making sure that you tell them VoskCoin sent you. They'll give you a discount, and they'll continue supporting VoskCoin. Classic cheesy win-win. But let's bring it back to the Bitdeer Sealminers and the numbers, right? So again, we've already talked about the other stuff previously, so let's really hone in here on the A3 series. So these are very profitable miners. After a 8 cent per kilowatt hour electricity bill, you would be earning between $7 and $20 a day. So let's break out those two air-cooled miners in particular, which will like 90% most likely run on single-phase electricity, and of course 3-phase electricity there as well. So 260 terahash a second, 3640 watts power consumption, 14 joules a terahash of efficiency. So that's basically a little bit better than the current generation. The 12.5 is absolutely next generation. It's going to be the new current generation level of efficiency. 290 terahash, 3625 watts there, right? So these pull $16 and $14 respectively in daily income, right? That's over $5,000 a year, nearly $6,000 a year on the A3 Pro Air. Also, I personally think Bitcoin's going to keep going up on average year over year, basically as it always has. And obviously that's not a linear thing there, which means in retrospect, yeah, $15, but if Bitcoin's trading over $200,000, then it will actually be $30 a day in mining profitability in retrospect, especially if you have the ability to hold there. Biggest thing we need to address though is going to be, what are they going to price these at? And it's not that much better than the Bitmain Antminer S21 XP, which has been best in class air-cooled Bitcoin mining efficiency in this current generation, but it's nearly next generation mining efficiency there. So right, $14 a day. It cost me $7 a day because my electricity company is scamming me, and I've gone from 7 cents to 8 cents pretty quickly. It's really 7.5, but either way. But even with all this in mind, I'm still pulling $2,700, right? And you get into these for $5,000 to $6,000 a unit delivered to your doorstep with taxes, tariffs, shipping, and all the fees and all the nonsense, right? So I get about a 50% ROI after the electricity bill, like he's accounted for, you know, over with an annual projection. So you take that and then you run it against BTC, maybe doubling. I should be doing all right in a year, hopefully, but nobody knows the future. The biggest hurdle for these S23 miners of why would I buy this over that is going to be the S23. The S23s are more efficient. They're more powerful. You get better density, right? But they're coming in at higher price points. What's that price point worth? For a couple more dollars a day in mining profits, are you willing to pay a couple more $1,000, right? And you can run these at home if you want. You can send them to a mining farm to run if you want. These are supposed to be delivered Q1 2026, so and not far away at all. We are an affiliate with Coin Mining Central. We have a coupon code VoskCoin to save some coin. The A2 Pro is finally up for sale, and it's not a ding at them. Bitdeer has been lining their own mining facilities very heavily with their own miners. So the A2 Pro was supposed to come out months ago, and now it's finally getting a batch. It's going out to freaking plebs like you and me. I shouldn't assume you're a pleb. I'm a pleb. I'm a pleb man. You know, it's like we're getting a shot at barely current generation hardware where the next generation hardware is already knocking on the door. Please understand that these are place order prices. These are probably not going to cost this much. I would be shocked. I'm thinking that these are going to be priced, you know, around at least $5,000. But here's the problem with the A2 Pro in particular. Bitdeer is getting just high on their horse. They're loving their attention. That their stock, you know, the progress, their mining profitability. Broke down some of this the other day in the stock review, right? But let's go over the last year. Holy crap, we're up 120%. Glad I sat on the sidelines and watched most of that happen like a freaking big loser. And you go up further, it's not as bad of a miss there. These aren't like unheard of gains and all that, but you know, double your money and then some's always interesting. To me, this is coming in at $3.5 billion market cap. And here's the unique thing about them. They're not just a Bitcoin mining stock, as in they're a Bitcoin mining farm or they're a Bitcoin miner manufacturer. They are both, and they are doing both well. And yeah, I own some Bitdeer miners. Yes, I own some Bitdeer stock. I'm not trying to show, like, and I talked about how I bought the stock literally last week for whatever that's worth. But the bottom line is, the point is here, look at all the insane hash rate. Look at the power that they have online of gear, and they're continuing to build it out further. Vincent brought up a great point, one of our incredible video editors here on the team. They also got a Texas facility, so there's even more than just the infrastructure that's outlined here. But I wonder, with their price increases, are these even going to be that interesting or that worthwhile, especially if you're just going to buy a couple? Maybe they're wheeling and dealing if you're thinking $1 million orders, probably, right? But if I look at this and I look at the A2 Pro, for example, then I look at the S21 Plus for $3,300 for a machine that's 15 joules a terahash of efficiency, right? And then we look at the A2 Pro that's basically 15 joules a terahash of efficiency. Look, I think that the A2 Pro is probably better build quality, but is that worth $1,000? I don't know. I don't think so. Bitmain support has been awful, but more of my Bitmain miners work than don't. I have a much smaller sample size with my Bitdeer miners. I only have 3 of them, but all 3 have been good for whatever that's worth. Between my personal mining farm and having some gear outsourced, I'm back to hitting about 8 petahash again, so that's cool. That's exciting. I'm very happy about that. And with that, I'm earning about $400 worth of Bitcoin a day, or 0.0035. And you may be like, oh my God, bro, that's crazy. You're rolling in it. Bro, the only thing I'm rolling in is goddamn electricity bill. Have you seen the bill? Look at the bill. Look at the bill. It's bad. The bill is bad. So basically, most of this goes to the electricity bill, right? But I'm earning more than I'm burning. That's why I keep just trudging along. And I'm going to add a couple more Bitcoin miners because maybe I'm a madman, maybe I'm addicted, maybe it's a sunk cost fallacy, maybe I'm just freaking crazy, or maybe, just maybe I believe in this. When am I going to flip this over to straight up solo mining? At 8 petahash, I'd have a 1 in 3 chance to hit a Bitcoin block over the next year. Stamp VoskCoin into the Bitcoin blockchain permanently. I'm going to print off a freaking plaque. Like, I'm not going to get like a nice metal plaque. It's going to have the block that I mined. That'd be so cool. But that's a chance. I've got a 1 in 3 chance to hit a Bitcoin block. That also means that I've got a 2 in 3 chance to miss and get slapped with massive electricity bills throughout that period. All right, but I could hit one really quick. I could hit a quick block and be like, whoop, I'm good, back to pool mining. SoloLuck's the best Bitcoin solo mining calculator in the world. You can call me a shill if you want. But that's pretty ridiculous because it's just something we made, and I'm proud of it, even as a halving countdown on it and other stats. And if you would like to see other features added to it, I'm all ears. I think our team did an incredible job as we worked together to build this. So, bringing it back to these Bitdeer miners, you look at their hash rates, you look at their efficiency. The Hydro miners I didn't talk too much about, but they're not all that notable. I mean, with the Hydro miners, you're really just buying density. It's not that they're particularly even more efficient in this case. Bitmain's Hydro miners are normally like a touch more efficient than their air-cooled ones. Right, but we look at the A3 Pro Hydro 12.5, and we look at the A3 Pro Air 12.5, right? So, I mean, for me, if it's not more efficient, like, I'd rather just deploy these. You do get more hash for the money, which means you're getting like a bigger return for the money. I'd rather have two A3 Pros, right, and hit 580 terahash than have one A3 Pro Hydro at 660, accounting for the electricity bill 1662. So I would forego a little bit less than $3 in order to have two air-cooled miners instead of one hydro miner. I think at massive scale, like a freaking billion-dollar, multi-million-dollar Bitcoin mining farm, the hydro can make sense, right? But for me, on a smaller scale, right, at best, you can round me up to medium-sized. Barely. I don't even know you can call me medium. I'm like a jumbo shrimp. Big, small guy. If they were more efficient, I'd be sold at the same efficiency. It's a much harder sell for me. But the big standout there thing is it's just gonna be your price per terahash. And that price per terahash, roughly $2 less per terahash. And that makes it a better investment. You get a better return, all things considered, all things equal. They're not equal. Also, air cooled, you pretty much plop them on a shelf. You got some fans running, get new air in, all bad air, hot air out, done. Hydro, you have to build the whole hydro cabinet. You have to build this hydro cooling infrastructure. That's a big cost. More stuff, more maintenance, better be worth it. So, am I going to get any of the A3s or the A3 Pros? I mean, I probably won't be able to help myself just because I make content. I'll probably want to get one of each into review, just hands-on. And I like the Bitdeer miners, and I prefer the Bitdeer miners over the Bitmain miners with my limited sample size. If they're not priced well, I have to make the right investment, right? I need to get the best bang for buck or the best efficiency. And then there's even availability. The A2 was the best bang for buck miner at the price it was selling at, to the point that it sold out worldwide. And then any of the others they all just happen to seem to go to their own mining farm. Bitcoin mining is just getting further and further away from what it originally began as, and it's just a little sad. But if you want to be happy, check out Tails, because we run 10 seconds of Tails in every video. I'm Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I appreciate you. Good luck, and goodbye.